Dayana, a girl of simple pleasures, stumbled upon an ornately carved chest in the musty attic. Inside, beneath layers of yellowed lace, lay a leather-bound book. Its cover, cold and strangely alluring, was devoid of any markings. Unable to resist, Dayana reached out, her fingers trembling, and opened the book. The pages, brittle with age, whispered secrets long forgotten. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of mildew and something ancient. Dayana, her heart pounding, began to read aloud. The words, in a language both beautiful and unsettling, seemed to slither off the page. The book, she realized with growing horror, was no ordinary tome. It was a grimoire, a conduit to a realm beyond human comprehension. As she read, the room seemed to warp and twist, shadows contorting into grotesque shapes. She tried to close the book, to break free, but her fingers refused to obey. The once familiar creaks and groans of the old house transformed into ominous whispers, weaving tales of dread into the silence. Dayana, her senses heightened, felt a constant presence lurking just beyond her periphery. Shadows danced at the edge of her vision, fleeting glimpses of something sinister that vanished as quickly as they appeared. A cold draft, originating from nowhere, snaked around her ankles, sending chills down her spine. Her reflection in the antique mirror no longer mirrored her own. Her eyes, once bright with youthful curiosity, now reflected a growing terror. Her skin, once vibrant and alive, seemed to pale, taking on a sickly, almost translucent quality. The book, now a malevolent entity in her mind, lay open on the table beside her, its pages filled with disturbing illustrations that seemed to writhe and pulsate under her gaze. Sleep, once a sanctuary of peace, became an inescapable nightmare. Each time she closed her eyes, she was plagued by visions of a shadowy figure with eyes that burned like hot coals. Its voice, a guttural rasp, whispered her name, beckoning her into the abyss. The boundary between dreams and reality blurred, leaving Dayana teetering on the precipice of madness. The nights grew longer, each one a torment that left her drained and terrified. Her dreams, once vibrant, were now consumed by the shadowy figure from the book. It haunted her every waking moment, a suffocating weight upon her chest. The comforting darkness of her room became a breeding ground for unseen horrors. One night, the figure from her nightmares crossed into her waking world. It materialized from the shadows, its presence terrifyingly real. Dayana, paralyzed with fear, could do nothing but watch as it glided towards her. The air grew thick and cold, the scent of decay heavy. "You have released me," the figure rasped, its voice like nails on a chalkboard. "And now you will serve me." With a surge of adrenaline fueled by a primal instinct to survive, Dayana scrambled back, her mind racing. The room seemed to shrink, the walls closing in on her, suffocating her. The entity, its form solidifying, advanced with an unnerving grace. Its eyes, burning like embers, held her captive, reflecting a depth of malice that chilled her to the core. She had to escape, to break free from this nightmare. But how? The book. The answer, she realized, lay within the pages of the cursed tome. She lunged for the book, her fingers wrapping around its cold leather cover. It throbbed with power, a dark energy that both terrified and strangely empowered her. "Begone!" she screamed, her voice hoarse with terror and newfound resolve. She began to read aloud from the book, the ancient words rolling off her tongue with surprising fluency. The air crackled with energy, the shadows in the room recoiling as if burned. The entity, caught off guard by her defiance, hesitated, its form flickering. A blinding flash of light erupted from the book, throwing Dayana backwards. She shielded her eyes, the ancient words she had uttered still echoing in her ears. When she dared to look again, the entity was gone. The room was silent, the oppressive presence vanished. Had she succeeded? Was it truly over? Dayana, her body trembling with exhaustion and the lingering effects of adrenaline, cautiously approached the spot where the entity had stood. The air hung heavy, thick with the stench of ozone and something else, something ancient and evil. But the entity was gone. Only the echo of its malevolence lingered, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lay just beyond the veil of reality. The book, now warm to the touch, lay open on the floor. Dayana stared down at its pages, her reflection gazing back at her, forever changed by the encounter. She knew, with a certainty that chilled her to the bone, that this was not the end. The entity was gone, banished for now. But the darkness it represented was eternal, and she, Dayana, was forever bound to it. The unseen remained.